Ciao! Welcome to Learn Italian Easy, where you'll learn just enough to get by and impress. This lesson is all about coffee, and to help me with this lesson is Sarah. She'll be learning along with you at home. Let's begin. A bar or a coffee shop is il bar.
Il bar.
Il bar. Coffee, or just simply an espresso, it's synonymous with espresso, is il caffè.
Il caffè.
Il caffè. Milk, il latte.
Il latte.
Il latte. Sugar, lo zucchero.
Lo zucchero.
Lo zucchero. Brown sugar, lo zucchero di canna.
Lo zucchero di canna.
Di canna.
Di canna.
Good. Lo zucchero di canna.
Lo zucchero di canna.
Lo zucchero di canna. A glass of water. Glass is un bicchiere.
Un bicchiere.
Un bicchiere. And then of water is di acqua.
Di acqua.
Un bicchiere d'acqua.
Un bicchiere di acqua.
Good. Notice that the acqua ends up being d'acqua when it flows all together. It's un bicchiere d'acqua. Un bicchiere d'acqua. Good. Un bicchiere d'acqua. Tea. Il tè.
Il tè.
Il tè. Chocolate. Il cioccolato.
Il cioccolato.
Il cioccolato. Hot chocolate. Il cioccolato
Il cioccolato.
caldo,
Caldo.
which means hot. So, il cioccolato caldo.
Il cioccolato caldo.
Il cioccolato caldo. Croissant. You can say this one of two ways. Actually, there are two slightly different types of croissants, to be exact. Un cornetto,
Un cornetto.
un cornetto, or you can say the French word una brioche.
Una brioche.
Una brioche. Cup, la tazza.
La tazza.
La tazza. Small cup, la tazzina.
La tazzina.
La tazzina. Coffee spoon, il cucchiaino.
Un cucchiaino.
That's hard. We have to break that one down. Il cucchiaino.
Il cucchiaino.
Cu is the first part of it. The rest was correct. And I'm sure you're having the same trouble at home. So let's do that a couple of times. Il cucchiaino.
Il cucchiaino.
Good. Once you get good at it, you'll say il cucchiaino. Il cucchiaino. Coffee maker. La macchina del caffè.
La macchina del caffè.
La macchina del caffè. Waiter. Il cameriere.
Il cameriere.
Try it one more time. Il cameriere.
Il cameriere.
Good. Il cameriere. Table. Il tavolo.
Il tavolo.
Il tavolo. Seat. La sedia.
La sedia.
La sedia. Or you can also say il posto.
Il posto.
Il posto. Napkin. Il tovagliolo.
Il tovagliolo.
Il tovagliolo. Cash register. La cassa.
La cassa.
La cassa. Receipt. Lo scontrino.
Lo scontrino.
Lo scontrino. Tip. La mancia.
La mancia.
La mancia. Check or bill is il conto.
Il conto.
Il conto. Cold. double, doppio,
doppio,
doppio. Concentrated, ristretto.
ristretto,
It's with an R, and it refers to a type of espresso, which you'll learn later in the informational segment. Ristretto.
ristretto,
Good. Ristretto. Ice. Ghiaccio.
ghiaccio,
Ghiaccio. Coffee slushy. La granita.
la granita,
La granita. Spotted or stained. Again, you'll learn more about this. It's in reference to a type of coffee. You'll learn about this in the informational section. But the way you say it is macchiato.
macchiato,
Macchiato. And some phrases that you might want to know. Good morning. Buon giorno.
buongiorno,
Buongiorno. An espresso, please. Un caffè, per favore.
un caffè per favore,
Un caffè, per favore. A croissant, please. Una brioche, or as we learned before, it could be un cornetto. Let's say una brioche, per favore.
una brioche per favore,
Una brioche, per favore. How would you like it? Come la vuole?
come lavore,
Come la vuole? And that would be a question that they would ask you if you asked for a brioche, because sometimes it has a vanilla filling and sometimes it has a chocolate filling. Let's say with cream, please. Con crema, per favore.
con crema per favore,
Con crema, per favore. Of course. Certo.
certo,
Certo. May I see your receipt? This is what they will be asking you, but I want you to familiarize yourself with this sentence. May I see your receipt? Potrei vedere
potrei vedere
lo scontrino,
lo scontrino,
which you learned before is receipt, lo scontrino. So, potrei vedere, may I see? Potrei vedere lo scontrino? That's what they're going to be asking you when you go to buy something. Here it is what you'll say. Eccolo,
eccolo,
eccolo. Excuse me, scusi,
scusi,
scusi. May I have, let's say, a glass of water. May I have is potrei avere,
potrei
avere,
avere
potrei avere, and then you would fill in the blank. So let's say a glass of water, as you learned before, is un bicchiere d'acqua.
un bicchiere d'acqua.
Good. Un bicchiere d'acqua. Thank you. Grazie.
Grazie.
Grazie. Goodbye. Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. And that concludes the lesson on all about coffee. Italy doesn't have coffee shops as we know them here in the States. Italians drink coffee at a bar, the same place where they can get a cocktail or a snack. You can get a coffee at the bar by first paying for it at the cash register and then giving the receipt to the barista as you tell him what you'd like. Keep in mind that if you plan on sitting down at a table as opposed to standing at the bar, the prices will be higher since you'll get waiter service. Tipping is appreciated in Italy, but not required. If you've paid for a coffee, it's a nice gesture to leave a coin or two for the barista. Also, keep in mind that most bars don't take credit cards. If you're used to drinking coffee on the go, you're out of luck in Italy. Italians drink coffee at the bar. So if you go to Italy, skip the to-go cup and enjoy your coffee like a real Italian. And speaking of to-go cups, do not assume that all Starbucks coffee drinks translate to Italian. For example, latte in Italy simply means milk. So if you want the Starbucks equivalent of a latte, you'll have to ask for a caffè latte. Otherwise, you'll just end up with a good old glass of milk. So, to avoid any confusion, I'd like to go through a list of Italian coffee drinks. This way you won't have any unpleasant surprises. Here we go. Un caffè. This simply means a coffee, but to Italians it's synonymous with un espresso. So if you want an espresso, do as the Italians do and simply ask, un caffè per favore? Un caffè americano. This is American coffee. However, the taste is a bit stronger than regular American coffee, and that's because it's essentially watered down espresso. Un cappuccino. This coffee drink, as you know, is composed of a third espresso, a third steamed milk, and a third foam. Now, although Americans drink this any time of day, Italians only drink it for breakfast with a brioche or un cornetto, because they believe it interferes with their digestion if they drink it after a meal. Un corretto. This is an after-dinner drink composed of a shot of espresso and a shot of liqueur such as grappa or sambuca. Un caffè doppio. This literally means double coffee. And since caffè refers to espresso, this coffee drink is double espresso. Un caffè freddo. Freddo means cold, or in this context it means iced. This is an iced coffee. However, keep in mind it's never as cold as American coffee drinks because Italians tend to use very little ice. Una granita di caffè. This is your typical coffee slushy. Un hag, or un decaffeinato. This is your decaf coffee. Here's a little trivia for you. Decaf coffee was actually discovered in 1903 by the Germans. The French then sold decaf coffee under the name Sanka, which eventually came to the United States. But the Italians are not familiar with the Sanka brand, so be sure to ask for un hag if you want decaf. Un caffè latte. As I mentioned before, this is what Americans refer to as a latte. This is, of course, a third espresso and 2/3 steamed milk served in a tall glass. Since there's more froth used in a caffè latte, it's weaker than a cappuccino. Un caffè lungo. The literal translation here is a long coffee, and it's somewhere between an American coffee and an espresso, as it has more water than an espresso, but it's water that's been run through the same coffee grounds rather than just hot water added afterwards. Un caffè macchiato, or simply un macchiato. Macchiato means spotted or stained, so this drink is essentially a shot of espresso spotted with a drop of milk. Un latte macchiato. This is the opposite of a macchiato. So it's steamed milk spotted with a drop of espresso. Una mocha. This is a caffè latte with chocolate. Un marocchino. This is a shot of espresso, a sprinkle of chocolate powder, and a layer of foamed milk. Now this drink isn't found in all regions of Italy. You'll most likely find it up north where it originated. Un ristretto, or un caffè stretto. The literal translation is a condensed coffee, and it gets its name from the fact that there's less water used than a regular espresso. Since it's the same amount of coffee, but less water passing through it, the flavor is more concentrated and therefore stronger. Un shakerato. This is one of my favorite coffee drinks, and I'm going to tell you how you can make it at home. What you do is mix a shot of espresso with milk, ice, and sugar in a cocktail shaker. And then you should serve it in a tall glass. If you want to make it elegant, serve it in a champagne flute or a wine glass. Then scoop the foam from the shaker and place it on top, so it looks and will taste super delicious. Un frappé. This is a strong cold coffee drink made from putting instant coffee, water, and milk in a shaker and then adding ice cubes, which creates a foam. The drink was actually developed by the Greeks, but you're probably familiar with it from Starbucks, which named it a frappuccino. Un affogato. This is a cold coffee drink made with a scoop of gelato, topped with an espresso shot. The ice cream and espresso are often served in separate cups and mixed at the table in order to prevent the ice cream from melting before you can eat it. If you've never tried this, I highly recommend ordering it for dessert. And that completes this segment on all about coffee. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson and that you've learned just enough to get by and impress. For Learn Italian Easy, I'm Emilia Ciatti. Arrivederci.